So next, please give a warm welcome to Paige from Ocean Ledger. Paige, you have the floor.
So this may not come as a shock, given 2/3 of the world is covered by water, but coastal habitat supports 7% of GDP and 4 billion people. But we're losing these ecosystems quickly, and if we don't start making a change today, we are putting our global economy at risk. Now, a few years ago, we couldn't fix this, but with the development of market mechanisms like carbon and biodiversity credits, blue bonds, we can turn this risk into an opportunity to draw in private capital. These markets will grow significantly over the next decade, and coastal is the next frontier. Now, the challenge is project developers, businesses, investors need the tools to engage with these market mechanisms. Right now, we only have expensive field methods or very basic global data sets. My co-founder and I experienced this challenge coming from opposite sides of the fence. At Barclays and Accenture, I didn't see any capital or innovation flows into coastal nature-based solutions, while my co-founder, who has a PhD, 10 years in the blue carbon scientific community, saw tons of innovation, but none of it was reaching the real world. So we decided to meet in the middle and solve it ourselves. At Ocean Ledger, we unlock private capital by delivering monitoring, reporting, and verification. We fuse remote sensing with field data to map ecosystem area, condition, and quantify ecosystem services. We can do this up to 30 meters of depth underwater, across space, and across time. This approach is backed by 8 years of R&D at the German Aerospace Center. Our algorithms have been trained on 30 million hectares, making our solution significantly faster and cheaper than what's out there today. For project developers, it's simple. We provide them with a return by making their project investable. For corporates and investors, we help de-risk funding, monitor, and report their impact with science-backed credibility. And we know this works because we're doing this for a project right now in Mallorca, where we're able to measure the ROI of seagrass restoration. Currently, we provide our analytics through a service-based model, so we can learn by doing, but we will bundle this into a subscription model for analytics and advice to unlock the demand side and capture significant market share as a first mover. We're just now opening our pre-seed of 600K to further automate and productize our proprietary tech stack. And while carbon markets are undergoing, to say the least, a period of reckoning, and that's a headache for many, for us, it's a tailwind because it positions our technology as an indispensable tool to ensure high quality conservation outcomes. It also lets us learn from the mistakes of land-based players. At Ocean Ledger, we are all in to turn global coastal risk into an investable asset class, allowing coastal to finally take a leading role in the climate change movement. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ocean Ledger. Now for 2 minutes of questions. Jury members, I can see your faces are thinking. I think you left them speechless. We got one question.
Either a really good or bad thing.
Well, thank you once again for this really striking presentation. It's very clear. I love the business approach. Of course, I love monetizing also by making redundant fees for the client. But just to make sure, do you have already a client then in Mallorca? Is it your first client? And
Correct.
Okay, so it's the final round of funding to scale up quite rapidly after that.
Sorry, is the question what we're using?
You have already one client, and the last slide about the funding is really to help you scale and develop quite fast the new clients, I assume, and develop your income. Correct?
Correct. The approach right now is to pilot with project developers because that is kind of the most important side of the market to get correct. But we want to further automate the software in order to enable different tiers of monitoring, reporting, and verification that will be suited for those investors, for buyers, for anyone who wants to invest in these projects. So essentially to be able to do both sides.
And what would be your projection in terms of income within 3 years?
Within 3 years, we have a projection of being able to capture around 4 million in recurring revenue from the SaaS model.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Paige. Please give a round of applause for Ocean Ledger.